12 million new voters insignificant to alter 2023 election outcome. Fashola, welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel to get notified when we post hot juicy news updates. Please click on the notification bell. Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Raji Fashola has called on politicians vying for office in the 2023 general elections as well as citizens of a country not to disrupt the challenges of Nigeria in the global market square. Fashola, who was the keynote speaker at the Niche Annual Lecture in Lagos yesterday, noted that the number of new 12 million voters registered will not be enough to sway the outcome of the election next year. He said the number of newly registered voters in 2022 is way less than the number of voters who registered newly in 2019. This is as a former member of the House of Representatives, Dakuku Bitisad, lamented the current economic downturn in the country, saying over 90 million Nigerians now live below poverty line. According to Fashola, over 14 million newly registered voters had been recorded prior to the 2019 election compared to the 12 million documented from this year. If you look at the number of people who have newly registered to vote in the last election, the last number given by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) is 12,332,336 people. Those are the new voters registered for this election cycle, whereas in 2019 there were 14,360,053 newly registered voters, while in 2014 there were 6,944,752 newly registered voters. So, if the hype about 2023 is anything to go by, the number of 12.332 million newly registered voters does not support it. This is because there are 2,027,657 voters less than the 14 million new voters who registered in 2019. We have seen all this hype before, and it distracts from the real question, which should be, how can democracy, especially the election coming in 2023, make our lives better and make a country greater? Those, for me, are what we should focus on, not about whether there will be or there will not be an election. We should focus on this question because democracy is simply concerned about popular participation in choosing a leader or set of leaders. We used to caution against washing the dirty linen of a country in the global scene, saying we can win elections without exaggerating our problems. We can do so by offering credible service and well-thought-out solutions. Fashola advertised the current situation of a country should challenge the level of sobriety in us and not excitement. A serious reflection that says this is where we have reached. My advice is that we can win an election without disrobing our country before the global community. Elections and democracy for us must represent a feast of ideas and choices that bring out the best in us and the best in our country. On his part, former member of the House of Representatives, Dakuku Bitisad, who also spoke at the event, noted that the 2023 election is peculiar as there will be burden of governance, and this time it will be very challenging after the elections. The former Director General of Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, added that the reason is that managing the expectation of Nigerian people is not going to be a walk in the park. One is that we face monumental insecurity, and it is very easy to lay blame on everyone other than ourselves. Two is the fact that apart from insecurity, the young people, the talent to expect to step back and build the country, are living in droves to other countries against the backdrop of ASU strike, and we are not replacing them. So, if the youth are supposed to build the country, if they all leave the country, who will build the country? Who are we leaving the country for? Is it the old men and women who do not have the energy to rebuild the country? He also lamented the state of the country's economy, saying, another thing is the challenge of the economy. I don't think that we have had time in our recent past where we have over 90 million of citizens living below the poverty line. Debt to revenue ratio is 120%, what it means that if we do not earn enough to even service debt, the import of that is that we are going to face Very stormy days ahead. Unfortunately, the truth is that the rhetoric of politicians is widening our ethnic religious fault lines instead of focusing on the challenges confronting us. Well, Fashola said he does not understand what the hype is all about. Well, I want to say something, but I don't know how it sounds. When I heard about the figure, I was saying all the killings going on in the north, it never reach, or going on in Nigeria, let me don't say the north alone. It never reach for people to reduce. Use of you no go fear if Nigerians increase, if number of voters increase, with all the killings that have been going on unabated since the last 2019 election till today. So that one is by the side. And then another question I want to ask Fashola. He's saying so he does not know why the hype is there and all that they had 14 million and they had 14 million voters in 2019, but this year's is 12 million. I'm going to say it is because that time people voted because voted APC and PDP. There was no thought force. Nobody came and challenged status quo. But now we now have a figure challenging status quo, a figure wanting to do things in a very different manner. What makes you think that those who voted for you last time will vote for you again with what is happening in the country? Online movement is a Yahoo movement. It is not realistic to serious votes and impact on the election itself, which may be correct. What I would expect obedience to do is, after reading this tweet, is to go and put on is to make sure that they do the right thing, they create more awareness, they work hard more, so that the way we then use, give this news not going to be the way we go use be. Alright, make sure say this is no longer online. It means you're already panicking about what is happening online. Don't worry, you will soon learn the hard way that online leads to on ground. Alright. Fashola have been among the key players in APC that deceive Nigerians. Fashola, you don't want to rest. You're not supposed to be in public service anymore. Okay. Okay, sometimes it's hard to see the people spill trash from their mouth because they want to remain in power. Well, Nigerians, we all know what to do. We all know what to do and we know better. At the end of the day, let us do what we feel is right. Let us come out to vote on the election. Did not just vote, but vote along the lines, to vote the most competent person and not vote along ethnic and or religious lines. Alright, in this note, we've come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.